Recorded Books presents Circle of Love, The Orphan Train Adventures by Joan Lowery Nixon. Narrated by Christina Moore. From Joan Lowery Nixon. A note from the author. During the years from 1854 to 1929, the Children's Aid Society, founded by Charles Loring Brace, sent more than 100,000 children on orphan trains from the slums of New York City to new homes in the West. This placing out program was so successful that other groups, such as the New York Foundling Hospital, followed the example. The Orphan Train Adventures were inspired by the true stories of these children, but the characters in the series, their adventures, and the dates of their arrival are entirely fictional. We chose St. Joseph, Missouri, between the years 1860 and 1880 as our setting in order to place our characters in one of the most exciting periods of American history. As for the historical figures who enter these stories, they very well could have been at the places described at the proper times to touch the lives of the children who came west on the orphan trains. Chapter 1. Jennifer Collins settled into the plump cushions that lined her wicker chair as Grandma Briley began to read from Frances Mary Kelly's faded blue journal. Jennifer's brother Jeff, who had been lying on the floor, propped himself up, chin resting on his hands, and interrupted Grandma. "Wait a minute. You just said that the date of this story was July 1866. Was the Civil War over then?" "Officially." Grandma brushed a damp strand of gray hair back from her face and took a sip of iced tea. "General Robert E. Lee surrendered the Army of Northern Virginia to General Ulysses S. Grant in April of 1865. That brought an end to the war between the states." Jennifer did some quick mental arithmetic. Frances was 13 when the Kelly children were sent west by the Children's Aid Society. That was in 1860. So in July 1866, Frances Mary would have been 19. "That's right." Jennifer sighed. "I remember that when you first began to read Frances's entries, she said her dearest love had given her this journal and told her to write her stories in it." "If this is a love story, I don't want to hear it," Jeff said and made a face. Grandma's eyes twinkled. "There's been love in every story Frances Mary has told. There are many kinds of love. I'm going to read about love, and then you're going to hear a surprising story of adventure and danger. I just said that the war was officially over. It had a terrible effect upon some people's hearts and minds. The wounds took a long time to heal." "Whose hearts and minds?" Jeff asked. "Oh, be quiet, Jeff," Jennifer said impatiently. "Let Grandma read so we can hear what happened." Grandma smiled and began with Frances Mary's own words. "Early this morning, I brushed my hair in pale sunlight. As I tucked 2 silver-edged combs into my hair, I remembered my 19th birthday when Johnny Mueller gave them to me, and gave me this journal. 'Write the stories you have been carrying in your heart,' he said. 'Begin with your family. Begin when you were very young in New York. Begin with your own story.' I did. I wrote about my parents and my brothers and my sisters who meant so much to me. The words and tears and love spilled out together, capturing our stories forever on these pages. By this time, I should have written about the one I love most of all, Johnny. I should have written about our wedding day, a day of dreams come true. Sadly, though, there has been no wedding. I'm sure that I loved Johnny from the moment I first met him, when I came to Kansas on an orphan train. I have always known that Johnny loved me. During the war, I kept up my spirits by reminding myself that as soon as Johnny returned from his service with the Union Army, we'd marry. But Johnny's 1-year internment in a Confederate prisoner of war camp took its toll on his health. Under the strong Kansas sunlight, his face has regained most of its color, and his cough no longer shakes his entire body. But the farm work he once did with strength and ease exhausts him, and the dark depths of his eyes seem to mirror horrors that haunt him like demons. Since I'm a woman, it would be unseemly of me to propose marriage, but I have hinted at it in many ways. Each time, Johnny's mouth tightens. He absolutely refuses to talk about marriage. Over and over I have asked myself, can't he see what a good wife I'd make? Doesn't he want to know the joys of raising a family together? It has been a week since I laid down my pen. Tears came to my eyes as I reread what I wrote about Johnny and the questions I asked myself. If I had known the answers, perhaps I would never have let my temper run away with me. Johnny and I wouldn't have had such a terrible argument on our way to town, and I wouldn't have plunged into a sudden course of action that changed my entire life. Chapter 2.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.